Welcome back to my channel where I have not uploaded the past 3 videos. Sorry about that, but today I am back and I have a belated review of the Holo Dark Rainbow collection. I have a ton of reviews coming up, so stay tuned for those, but today we're going to be focusing on one of the more recent ones, the Holo Dark Rainbow, long awaited. And if I seem like super awkward in this video, it's because I haven't filmed in like 3 weeks. So, you know, we'll figure it out. So this is the 3rd installation of the linear Holo rainbows that Holo has done. They started out with just a regular rainbow. I don't have the box, but I have all the polishes. Then they did the pastel rainbow. I have the box and all the polishes. And finally, we are on the dark rainbow here, which I think, honestly, probably out of the 3 collections, I'll just spoil it right now, this is probably my favorite as far as tones go. Other brands have utilized this concept in the past, you know, doing a dark, medium, and light variety of a rainbow of holos. It's not like a new concept, but it is something that I was excited for because I missed out on the Enchanted Dark Rainbow collection, and so this is like the closest I'll come, I think, to that. I'm not usually a big holo person. I don't seek it out, but man, sometimes it hits right, and in this case, I feel like that was it. And so like you saw, I did get the box itself. This sold out, I think, pretty quickly compared to the last couple boxes. This one was gone pretty fast. However, these are permanent colors in the line, so they are still available. They are $14 a piece, which means if you want to buy all of them, I think that comes out to like $98 total. That was the price of the box, so I'm pretty sure that it was $98 for all 7 of them. This time on launch, you could buy the full set with the box, or my friend bought it without the box. Like, there was a bundled set online already where you could get the whole set without the box. And I think that's the first time they've ever done that. I mean, you could very easily go through and add every single polish to your cart and check out that way, but it makes it way more efficient, way more smooth of a checkout. So I hope they keep doing that for people who don't necessarily care about the boxes, because not everybody collects them. I kind of started hanging on to them just because I'm like, well, if I ever want to sell any of these polishes and recoup some of my money, maybe the box will make it more valuable. And they make nice display pieces in the back, but ultimately, like, it's a box, you know, I'm not too worked up over them, but I do buy them if they're there. But yeah, let me get into my live swatches and then we will talk more at the end. I don't have any like big comparisons for you because, like I said, I'm not a huge holo queen, so I don't buy a ton of holo, which means I don't have a lot to compare to these, but I am going to show you comparisons of a couple other Holo purples with this particular purple in the box, and a comparison of 2 of the colors that came in this box, and are they the same? You tell me. Okay, so we're going to go in rainbow order, and that means the first one is Crimson Void, which is the reddish polish. Now, it's going to look redder on camera than I feel like it looked in real life to my eye, but who knows, maybe I'm getting old. I just turned 30, so we'll see what you guys think in the comments. But these polishes are all pretty opaque on that first coat. The only issue I had, and you might be able to see it here, is self-leveling doesn't really exist for these in the way that I've come to expect from more expensive or higher end nail polishes. So you do have to push it around and play with it just a little bit to make sure that it's not too thick in some areas. And on the left is just regular light, and on the right is flash. Then we have Dead Petals, and this is like the magenta tone. It looks really dark in the bottle, but again, it does lighten up on the nail. Please ignore how cracked my nail is. And this one, it looks more magenta on the nail, but I do really think it looks very similar to Crimson Void. I know I'm not the only one, but I know there's going to be people who say that I'm wrong as well. I don't know. It just could be perception, or maybe I got a weird bottle. I'm not really sure. Either way, like, I'll show you side-by-side photos later, but I do feel like they look a little bit too similar to be in the same collection. But same type of formula as that first one, really opaque, even on that first coat, does need some leveling help. And I think with the flash photo, you can definitely see more of a difference. This is Burnt Bridges, and it is described on the website as a rust color. I think that it's brown. I know that rust can be like a brown, but I was really expecting this to be more of an orange tone than a brown tone, just because this is like a rainbow. And here you can really see where it's not self-leveling as much, because it's like a little bit thinner on that first coat than the last one. But with those two coats, you get full opacity, and that's with all of the colors in pretty much in her line. I think it's pretty opaque on two coats. I like this color. It's just not what I expected it to be. And here it is. It definitely looks brown, even in my photos, I swear, guys. Then we have Amber Apathy. This is the yellow in the rainbow. Now, I, in my brain, want to call it gold, because anything that is marketed as a yellow but isn't a cream, just in my brain is gold for some reason. But no, this does look yellow. And again, it is thinner on that first coat. Can you blame it, though? It's a yellow. That's just the nature of yellow polishes. Again, with the self-leveling, I have to kind of go through and level it out myself. But this is fully opaque on two coats, just like the rest. I do think if you had shorter nails than mine, like without too much free edge, you could get away with one coat for most of these polishes, including the yellow, which is really impressive in my opinion. But I like her Holo formula, and I do think it looks really fun under the flash. Like, I like this one. Here is the green. This is Lost in the Woods, and it makes me think of Twilight too, that like power ballad, which I'm not going to sing because my singing voice is bad. But this is one that she kind of sneak previewed, and it's looking a little bit teal in my lighting, but it is definitely like a fir green, like, you know, like the Christmas trees. Those are called fir trees, right? And I definitely put way too much on my nail on this one. You can see me flooding my cuticles, but this one leveled out a little bit better than the other ones. I'm not sure if it's because I put too much on and it was like I got nowhere to go but out. But yeah, I do like this color quite a bit. It's probably going to stain my nails a little bit after long-term wear, just because it does have a little bit of a tealy look to it. But I think this will be great for Christmas nail art. Here is the blue. This is actually what is on my nails in the video as well. This is Sunken Secrets, and it's like a really deep kind of oceany blue, which I'm sure is kind of where that name comes from. On that first coat, same as the rest, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but really her Holo formula up to this point has always been really good, really opaque, really strong. And this is the first time that I've ever found like anything like to nitpick, and that's just they are a little bit too thick to self-level so well, and they do dry really fast, which is a pro and a con in some ways, just depending on how you personally apply nail polish. And finally, we have Violet Nightmares, which is the purple or the violet. Does anybody actually call purple violet? I feel like that's not real. So on that first coat, again, same as everything else. It is a little bit issues with self-leveling. I did load, again, too much on the nail, and I do have cotton round residue on my nail because I'm a professional. But once you remove that, and then you get that second coat on and get it all leveled out, it does look nice. This is definitely, in my opinion, the darkest of the polishes. It looks almost black in the bottle. It does read as purple on the nails, but like it's just really quite dark, especially with the like peak Holo, but it's still purple. So what did you guys think of this collection? Did anybody pick anything up? It's kind of late in the game now, but I still wanted to review it. I'm sad that I missed out on the enchanted ones like last year or the year before, whenever that came out, but you know, at least now I finally have some deeper Holos. These are great for fall or really any time of year, but I was just especially excited to get these. And I did a gradient with the blue and the other blues in all her collections, and then I just didn't want to do the gradient on the other hand, so here we are. So Holo Taco's Holos have, I think, had a really good formula. You know, the first two rainbow collections, and then they had like that electric shock collection or whatever it was. It had like a bright pink, a bright blue, a bright green, blah, blah, blah. And those all had wonderful, wonderful formulas. And for this particular box, I heard people saying, oh, they're thick, they're a little bit too thick, they're hard to use. And I would say, yeah, they're thick, but that's kind of par for the course with Holo Taco. That's just how they make polishes. They're quite thick, but for some reason mine didn't self-level in the way that I've experienced with other Holo Taco polishes. So I had to be a little bit more manipulative with them. Otherwise, if I put too much polish in one spot, it just remained there. It wouldn't kind of like eke out and spread out across the nail in a very self-leveling way. And so that was kind of surprising, but it wasn't a huge hindrance. The thing that did hinder me a little bit was how quickly these dry. Now, I'm glad they dry fast. It's really nice when a polish dries quickly because then I can go and do all my other little activities later on. But these dried really fast, and when you have longer nails, you know, you have to work really fast to cover the whole nail if it's going to dry down quickly. So that just added like a wrench, like a little bit of a learning curve, but it wasn't so bad that I couldn't deal with it. And once I realized like, oh, these all dry down pretty quickly, I was able to paint the rest of my colors on with like no issue, because I was like, okay, I'm aware that it dries quickly, so I just got to work a little faster. So just be aware of that and you shouldn't have any issues. And the other thing I noticed was, you know, in the bottles, they look very, very dark, really deep, almost like if the light is too low, it can be, maybe I'm just getting old, but it can be a little bit hard to discern which color is which in like a lower lighting in the bottle. However, once you get it on your nail and it dries down, I found it dried just a little bit lighter and a little bit more with that color saturation. I feel like with added pigments in Holo Taco, like any kind of holo or like silver flakes or anything like that, it tends to stick to the bottle, and that's almost all you can see sometimes. And I think that, you know, if you have a well-mixed polish, you're not going to see that when it's painted on the nail. It's just stuck to the outside of the bottle. So yeah, they dry down a little bit lighter than in the bottle, but that to me is a positive because they're almost like too dark in the bottle. You get what I'm saying? So I had some observations on a few of the individual colors that I thought I just wanted to share with you guys. These aren't necessarily all like negatives or positives, just general observations that I think if I were going to buy individual colors, I would want to know that ahead of time. So first, let's just go straight across the rainbow. The two reddish pink tones. So we have Dead Petals and Crimson Void. They look the same. Like in the bottle, I can tell that this one is a little bit darker than this one. Even on camera, I can see just a slight variation. But as I was painting them and taking my swatch photos, I was looking through my camera roll and I was like, which one is which in my camera roll? Because I did them back to back. Because I always swatch in rainbow order. I don't know why. It's just fun for me. And so then I was like, am I crazy? And I looked online and I saw on Reddit that some people were saying like, hey, my bottles look exactly the same. Did I get a mislabeling? And someone said, go check out the reviews on Crimson Void on Holo Taco's website. So I did, and overwhelmingly negative, pretty bad reviews. And everyone was also saying the same thing, that their batches look the exact same of those two colors. And I was like, no, that can't be right. So I pulled out the swatch sticks I had made like a week earlier. And I think on camera, you can tell that this one is a little bit lighter than this one. Like this one's the darker one, Dead Petals. But in just normal lighting, when I'm like holding them away from myself and like looking at them, they look almost exactly the same. Like to the point where you don't need both. You don't. And it's disappointing, not because like there are collections all the time that release colors that look similar. And I have bought them fully knowing like, oh, those colors look similar. And I know that. And I'm still going to spend my dumb little dollars on it. However, I pulled up the swatches on the Holo Taco website for both colors. And, you know, I looked at them side by side, and I'll pop them up here. And I think they look way more distinct in the photos on the website. And, you know, that could be due to lighting and my screen and things like that. But honestly, I just feel like Crimson Void on the website leans far more red than the polish that I got. So I don't know. And it seems like that's the general consensus. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody was thinking about buying the whole collection and you were on the fence. Like those two look nearly identical in my opinion. Next, I just had like a brief thing I want to say about burnt bridges. This might just be my own misunderstanding, but like, I feel like Burnt Bridges was supposed to sit in the orange category. And on the website, it describes it as a rust tone, which, yeah, it's a rust. And rust can be kind of like an orangey brown. And I think that's what they were going for here. But when I look at it, I just see like full brown holo. Like I see like the hint of orange eking through. And then, I don't know. It's pretty. I like it. There's nothing wrong with this color. I guess I just thought it was going to be like a really deep pumpkin-y orange when I knew that they were going to do a dark like holo collection. And so I was disappointed by my own feelings, I guess, but it's still a really pretty color and I do like it. I want a pumpkin-y orange holo. Like, I don't know. I just thought that would be fun to do like holo pumpkin nails. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. And then the last color I wanted to talk about really quick was Violet Nightmares. This is obviously the purple violet. And I wasn't sure if there was a dupe within the actual Holo Taco releases. And at first I thought maybe the original one might be a dupe, but then I pulled it out and I was like, what is your brain thinking? Because here's the two side by side. Like, they're pretty obviously different. The original purple slushy is quite bright, so forget that. But then in the remix collection, when she mixed together like all the holos that had come out, we had Rainbow Flood, and honestly, Rainbow Flood leans a little bit more black, but it's still a very deep purple holo, and so I wasn't really sure how they would compare. And on the swatch wheel, I'll show you guys some better footage. I feel like it's a little bit like swampier for Rainbow Flood, the 2-year anniversary one. And the new one, Violet Nightmares, is definitely leaning more purple. But at the same time, I still feel like they are so incredibly similar that if you are trying to shop smart or pare down your collection, or for whatever reason you just don't want to have too much that's similar and you already had Rainbow Flood, I would say don't get this purple, because I don't know, I just think they look really, really close together. So not a big deal for me, because I love just having nail polish in every way, shape, and form. But I know some people, you know, they want to have a more curated collection, and so I thought I would throw all that out there. So now, before I get into like my favorites and the overall like final thoughts on the collection, I just have one really little super petty complaint, nitpick, I don't know. And it has to do with the naming convention of this collection. And this has like literally no bearing on anything. It shouldn't matter, it doesn't matter, but it's still bothering me, you know, all up in my brain. So the first two collections, the regular holo rainbow and then the pastel holo rainbow, they were named after like candies and foods and sweets and drinks and just like that sort of a thing. You know, you had sparkling water, we had magenta jelly, like purple slushy, like things like that. Maybe it's the fat kid in me, and outside of me, but I love that. I love like the candy colors and like the candy names. And then this collection, like Crimson Void, Amber Apathy, Violet Nightmares. Like, listen, I was a huge Invader Zim emo kid when I was in middle school and high school. Like, I am no stranger to this stuff. I love a good edgelord moment, but I guess I thought we were gonna get more like foods and candies and stuff like that, and then it was this. Because it kind of breaks the cohesion of the three collections in that way. And honestly, like, what foods were they gonna use? Like, I feel like with darker colors, it would have had to be like savory foods. So you could be like, I don't know, what could you name it after? Like turkey dinner and stuff like that. I don't know, like it wouldn't work, and I know it wouldn't work, but I want it to work, and that's why I'm sad about it. I mean, I'm not even creative enough to think of like 7 more foods and drinks that would go with this. Like, you could name it after like, I don't know, bourbon or something. It's just, I can't think of any good names, yet I'm still sad that they didn't do it for me, you know? So as far as my favorite color goes, you know, with me, it's always a green or a purple. I swear it really is. And this time it's a green. This is Lost in the Woods. I really like this, except I hate thinking about the name because every time I do, suddenly that song from Frozen 2 just starts playing on repeat in my head, and then I gotta go listen to it on Spotify, and it's really gonna mess with my Spotify Wrapped. But it's just the perfect, like, what do you call those, fir trees? Like the Christmas tree green kind of color. And it just feels very fall. Like it feels like a chilly October night. I can't explain why I feel this way, but it's just a really, really pretty tone. And it's like, I like the blue that I put on. The only reason I only wore the blue is because I'm only wearing blues in September because I got myself into that mess. And it's nice, but I like the green more. I really do. So yeah, that was my favorite. And honestly, my overall thoughts on this collection, even though I had some nitpicks, even though the fact that the two colors are the same, overall, I was actually truly excited for this collection. I think it's been a while and people have noticed, you know, they've made comments that saying like, don't buy any more Holo Taco if you don't like it. Because I've just been like, kind of like, over it, bored, you know, I want to spend my money on other stuff, and yet I feel so like caught in the chokehold of Holo Taco because I have everything and I want to keep the whole collection, I guess. I don't know why. But this is the first collection in a while that right from the get-go, right from that first teaser, I was like, I'm here for it. I'm ready. And I was following it as, you know, all the releases and all the information was coming out. I was excited. And I'm still excited. I like it. I did a gradient on my nails, and I'm glad that, you know, now I can make gradients of all of them. They were really easy to work with, and that was a lot of fun and simple nail art. It just, I don't know. I like it, and this is the perfect time of year for it. So, you know, the second I got the box, I was like ready to put it on swatch sticks, ready to put it on my nails. And I really hope that that same energy on my end keeps coming for the future collections. I'm excited to see, because she does something for her birthday every year. I'm excited to see what happens for the holidays, because, you know, the past 3 holiday collections, I feel like, where can she go from here? I'm excited to see that, you know? So yeah, let me know down in the comments if you picked up the box, if you just picked up a few individual shades, if you were just waiting to kind of see what is good and what isn't, let me know. And I'm sorry that I didn't upload for a week and it was only a week and a half, but you know what? I still feel weird about it because now I feel like this is a job, even though it doesn't pay me like a job. So sorry about that, guys. I needed a vacation from my vacation, you know? So yeah, that's going to be it. Look forward to a lot of reviews coming your way. I have spent too much money on nail polish in the month of September, so you guys get to see that. All right, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.